Oh. Oh. Oh.
Professor of Biochemistry at Empire State University.
Hey, let's get that howl down.
Serum, which could make subjects immune to all toxic biochemicals. Unfortunately, we've got...
Neutralize all threats.
Hey, here we go. I want first blood. I want first blood. Oh. I got worse battle wow. Where's that little?
Got contact.
What's this battle wow? Hey, he's spunk the plunk. Watch out for Haddle, pal.
Incoming frag.
Watch that saddle, pal.
We've taken control.
He got up with the pluck on the saddle.
Move up, long gun frag.
I got you right in the old blower hole. Watch that hole.
Deploying Archangel.
I got that hole. Now let's get that bomb. Oh, we almost got huddle puddle.
Watch your target ID.
Oh, wait, get a couple kills. That's all, though. Hey, can I get a couple kills?
You're mine.
Watch that fall.
Stun incoming.
I can't get a kill with the bill on the battlefield.
This shit ain't working. We've lost the advantage.
Really? He got followed all?
Lead done.
That's the boy that screwed up. I didn't block that at all. I had to battle waddle.
Hostile foot patrol. Watch me pointing that shit ass hat.
I got 3 for the glee, not for that, you see. Watch that boy. Got hook on uncle. Where's that bottle waddle? Got that boy? Oh. That's 1 eye. 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 1
Sniper's down. Move.
I got one for
Scanning
the front
area with
on
scout
the
post.
cell phone. Wall for the hall.
Taking a shot.
Oh, that was lovely. That follow. Watch that follow. I got that boy. He came around with the frown like a heckle hound. Hey, drop that battle like the wabble.
Grenade out. Hostile subject.
I thought I was gonna get a good run on. Maybe not. Just get me a good run on. Let me get that.
Got it on target.
That's what I really like getting. Definitely
Yeah,
I
engine
got
shooter.
that
This shit ain't over. Took out their sharpshooter.
about 10 boys.
Enemy stunned.
I ain't not now. Watch that boy. He has all the boys.
That's right, you shithead. The CIA's nothing without us.
I'll tell you, sometimes it's just terrible, that game.
Deploying Skull Street.
Oh. That was lovely. Oh. Hip hooray. Wobble. Why, you're not doing hardly nothing for that ogre coil. Why don't we try another loadout for that ogre coil? Like this, maybe. Oh, it'll be a Palawak. Yes, let's go with this. I'll go with Palawak. Where's that Hoggle Boggle? There's the Hoggle Boggle. And where's that Fiddle Whittle? Yes, not the Fiddle Whittle. It's the Faddle Waddle. Go with that GPR and have a haggle R. Okay. I'll go with the GPR and have a haggle R and a quackle. Or how about the haggle sackle and a quackle?
Kill confirmed.
Muck and a buckle.
Teach those pathetic
How
crimson
attack
bastards a
and a
lesson.
Hey, let's get that in the acoustical amp. That's what we need. Alright, we don't want that low down now. That low
Damn it,
down.
we've lost the lead.
Where's that hubble model? He happens to have hubble model.
Hostile shooter.
Hey, duck your buck on us. Duck
He just
your
made a
buck
fatal
on us.
mistake.
Where's that puddle waddle? Oh, he's got
Enemy in the open.
four. Did you have on four? I gotta do the boost on the second boost.
Hostile confirmed.
Puddle waddle. Because we don't want waddle waddle. He's got that cow-how. Hey, I did boy several times. So he had a got quaddle waddle.
Deploying score streak.
Oh, I didn't get a soul that had a soul. I can't get nuts.
Stun incoming.
Let's have an action. Oh, I can't get a soul.
Impact grenade.
Where's that hollow waddle? I got you, little fella. Watch out for follow waddle.
Eyes on shock charge.
Hey, I did not get time to put that cam ham.
Hostile gone.
Hey, look out!
Eyes on enemy.
I'm just trying to get the follow waddle.
Here we go.
I got a deuce in the caboose for that.
Enemy grenade.
I tried to fake the boy. I just tried as much as I could to fake the boy. So he had a deuce in the hoop, the hack a hoop. Get in there and get the battle waddle.
Watchdog helo incoming on your location.
I ain't get up to the point of the battle hook.
We're authorizing.
John, this is the bundle one. I got the little fella.
Archangel making noise.
Hey, I got a hollow waddle. Get up to that middle, Willow. Along with that follow waddle. I got noodles.
Net call. Enemy watchdog helo inbound.
Noodle, haddle, paddle, and saddle, waddle.
TACOM, set requesting napalm strike.
You gonna let a bunch of company assholes beat you? Fight back, damn it!
Scout
Get an
pulse
LDVR
online.
on my
Tally
mark.
watchdog helo.
Got sing, saddle, sing, bong, bong, and saddle.
Deploying score streak.
Get up in the corner, we gotta have one.
Hostile scout pulse in your AO. Sam turret out. I don't believe in bad luck. Just bad aim.
Escape
Get
and
that
evade,
thing.
people. Don't let them take you alive.
I should have called in one of those score straight. Oh,
You just made a fatal mistake.
Oh, that was lovely. They were really ranking up for you, huh? That was a good hookup there, oh boy. Love the gecko. Love that gecko, boy. He's some battle. All I need is 2 more skull streaks and we got Tungle Wungle. Oh, I would just love to get Tungle Wungle.
Anybody got a mic?
Hey, how you doing today? Yeah, I got a mic. Oh.
Hardpoint. Playtime's over. Let's see what you're made of. Hostiles have the hardpoint. Hardpoint locked down. Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
Hey, that all should just falls off on a paw wall. Oh boy. Get that all Got that all
Hardpoint is secure.
Back on the saddle, we got saddle out.
Hardpoint located.
Get that out of the saddle. We got saddle.
Hostiles have the hardpoint. Hardpoint checked.
Hey, what happened to all the political wiggle?
Hardpoint locked down.
I got that little fella. It was just
Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
oh. He got hoy. I got hoy. Now let's get ho-ho. I'm just a raw ho.
Hardpoint identified. Hardpoint active. Hardpoint is secure.
Incoming frag.
Hey, I got the thing to do. What's supposed to happen?
Hostiles have the hardpoint.
I got the booster hooch, now I got the
Let's move. Hardpoint locked down. fucking traitor.
Hey, this ain't paintball.
We want that impact grenade, is what we want. Right, let's go.
Hardpoint identified. Hardpoint locked down.
Battle.
Hardpoint active. Hostiles attached to hardpoint. Hostiles blocked.
I hit him hard in the bar, the dog bar.
Hardpoint is secure.
He does have battle waddle.
Hostiles have the hardpoint. Hardpoint located. Hardpoint locked down. Hardpoint set. Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
We got the global.
Hardpoint is secure.
The gun's just not shooting like a bootin' on a hack of hoop. Hey, that's the boy.
Hostiles have the hardpoint.
Hostile long gun neutralized.
And
Confirming hostile.
Hardpoint
I
locked down.
saw that. It's a ho-ho-ho. Oh,
Hardpoint identified.
watch out.
Hardpoint active. Hardpoint is secure.
I got you. Move in on the movement. We got hackers too.
Firing Archangel.
Hey, we've had him out. Now let's get him out. We got him on a handle. Let's get him on a
Hardpoint
paddle.
located.
Enemy grenade.
Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
Let's get him on a
Frack
runner. We
thrown.
got him on a bump.
Hardpoint set. Hostiles have the hardpoint. Hardpoint locked down.
Watch it, shit.
Watch out for follows. We got follows.
Sniper stealth. Let's move. Sending frag.
Nice. We're pulling ahead.
Armor incoming.
Hardpoint identified. Hostiles have captured the hardpoint. Hardpoint
He
is
had
secure.
Wallace and I had Hawk.
Hostiles have the hardpoint. Hardpoint active.
The boy had Wallace, I had Hawk.
Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
Where did he get the hacker hoop?
Hard point located.
Incoming frag.
Hey, he's got oil.
Authorizing napalm strike.
Hard point set. Hard point is secure.
Eyes on hostile sleeper.
Deploying SAM turret.
There's a spy in our ranks. Watch your six. Hostiles have the hard point. Hard point locked down. Hostile impact coming in. Hard point identified.
Confirming kill.
Hey, get him on home.
Hard point active. Hostiles have captured the hard point.
Molotov.
Hard point is secure.
Grenade out.
The gun won't bring
Eyes
him
up,
down.
watch out,
my
Grenades
guy.
on their heels. Hit them hard. Hostiles have the hard point.
Why didn't you do that?
Hard point
middle
locked
bit?
down. Hostiles
All
have captured the
I
hard
know is
point.
it's in a battle
Enemy
line.
stunned.
While
Hard
that-
point located. Hard point is secure. Hostiles have the hard point.
Enemy grenade.
It could have better been
Hard
better.
point set. Hard point locked down.
Let's get Spooges Ooges.
Hostiles have captured the hard point.
Fucking blind. Scout post active.
Hard point is secure.
Sniper, get down. Shot good.
Hard point identified.
Hey, how's Foul Waddle going?
Hard point active. Hostiles have the hard point.
Frag thrown. Stay down.
Hard point locked down. Crimson's falling back. Hell of a show today, Black Ops.
Stand down, people. All targets eliminated.
Well, he had a turn to start, now hack a horn.
Eat this later. Final mistake. I hope you know something about hand-to-hand combat.
The boy had a hogget and a pocket and a hogger socket.
Hardcore team deathmatch. Eliminate the enemy. Take them out.
Motherfucker ran right through.
5 down.
Oh,
Got
sorry,
one.
mate.
Front.
My bad.
Hostile long gun neutralized.
Target is done.
Enemy RCXD detected.
Mover.
I'm down 5.
Frag thrown.
Send flowers.
Enemies down. Got contact.
Hostile RCXD in your AO.
Oh. Damn, sorry, teammate. Right in my line of fire.
So right now with T'Challa and the others still believing that they have the element of surprise, that is no longer the case. And it's all because of one little slip up. And we're told here that T'Challa made this mistake because of his haste, because of his fear. And with that said, I want you guys to keep in mind, from what we've seen in this story so far, we're dealing with a younger T'Challa who's still trying to figure out how to run his kingdom and how to protect it. Because going into this, we saw the whole thing with him and Shuri going back and forth about the idea of Wakanda opening up and helping others, which will make it interesting to see what he thinks about Shuri calling outsiders for help. But going into this, we're just shown that T'Challa's been doing things the way that his fathers did before him, which on one hand has him very closed off and protective as far as Wakanda's concerned. But that way of thinking is only pacified his inexperience. But now that he's facing this new threat that's crazier than anything he's seen before, sure, there's some slip-ups along the way, but in the larger picture, it seems like now, this T'Challa, he's being challenged to think and move differently, and it's happening at a time where there's little to no room for error. So yeah, usually I would feel some type of way about a T'Challa making a rookie mistake like that, but after taking all the factors into consideration, it's like, okay, I get it. Because it's not so much what's happening as it is when it's happening. But at the end of the day, if you're facing a threat like this, it doesn't care why you slipped up. It is going to use everything it can to its advantage to end it. So yeah, it's not looking good for T'Challa, because the Predator and his clan, they know he's coming. And following this, for a moment we head back over to Shuri, who's barely come out on top against the scout that was trying to grab her, to where after she kills it, she pulls off its helmet. And when she does, you know she's got to tell him how ugly he is. Wouldn't be a Predator story if she didn't. But with her investigating this Predator, just out of curiosity, she soon realizes that its helmet is more than armor. It's a computer. So now, this allows the history of this Wakanda's technology, which is based on Yautja technology, to once again work in the Wakandans' favor. Because since the Wakandan technology of this world was based on Yautja tech, this opens up the possibilities for Shuri to use this helmet to her advantage. But not long after she puts it on, she hears something fly overhead, which at first has her like, okay, what now? So she looks up, and it's Falcon, who is responding to her distress signal. And it's funny, because she's looking at him like, who are you supposed to be? And he's never met her either, so there's that. But as it turns out, Falcon was already in Africa, shutting down a weapons dealer when he heard the call, so he came to check it out. So yeah, not exactly sure if this is going to turn the tides in Wakanda's favor, but really at this point, they need any help they can get. And that has me thinking, so I want to ask you guys, let me know in the comments, but if you send out an SOS and somebody replies, is it disrespectful to send out another SOS while they standing there in hopes of better help showing up? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Alright, so coming back, we're dealing with T'Challa, Okoye, and really what's left of the Dora Milaje and Hattusilize, who have survived this Predator invasion thus far, where now they've all made their way to the Great Mound to stop these Predators and their leader who've come here for the Vibranium. Like we saw before, when T'Challa and the others arrived, one of the Predators who they believed they'd killed had actually survived, which had then led to it reaching out to the clan leader, letting him know that the Black Panther was coming. So now, within the Great Mound that the Predators have taken over at this point, T'Challa and the others believe they have the element of surprise, which they did initially, but now that opportunity's gone and they don't even know it. And it's not as if they have their communications network, because the Predators have taken that too. Because like we saw prior to this, the Predators have been to Wakanda before, and it was that left behind Yautja tech that became the advancements in technology for Wakanda on this earth, which is something that gave these invaders a huge advantage, since Wakanda's security, weapons, practically all their technology is very familiar to their own. But at this point, before T'Challa and the others make their way in further, he lets them know that they're too exposed. So for that reason, they should head into the maintenance hatch and use that passage to descend into the main level of the mine, because otherwise they're just going to get picked off, like we saw before when the Predators first arrived. But as they head into the maintenance hatch, Achilles hears something, so he goes to check it out, leaving T'Challa to believe that him and the other war dog will be following them down in the rear. But instead, this just leads to a world of trouble for the two that stayed behind, because at this point, the Yautja leader had his eyes on both of them, and they were walking right into a trap. Because when this war dog goes to look for Achilles, he spots a drone watching him from above, only to then trigger a mine stationed on the tunnel wall, which soon after detonates, slicing off his limbs like a blade through water. But get this, dude is still alive. And just after this, Achilles was getting ready to drop down the shaft after T'Challa. He comes back after hearing the war dog call for him, only to find this guy sliced up and barely breathing. So he shoots down the next drone and he rushes to him, saying, "It's okay, go in peace to your ancestors, knowing that I will avenge your death. I will kill them." Only for this huge predator foot to appear in a puddle of blood just before it's revealed that another predator is standing right over him. And it's crazy because the one who can barely talk, who's barely alive, he's about to watch his boy die before him. And it's messed up, but it wouldn't be a Predator story without moments like these. Following this, we briefly head back over to Shuri and Falcon, with Falcon recently making his way here after receiving the distress call that Shuri put out. And so at this point, with Shuri killing one of these Predators and hacking into its helmet, she's in the process of repurposing its weapons so she can put them to use. But at the same time, when it comes to Falcon, this is his first time of even hearing of Wakanda, let alone coming here. And it leads to this moment where Falcon's like, okay, let me get this straight. So you're a princess. Princess Shuri of a kingdom called Wakanda that somehow kept itself hidden from the world and owes its wealth and power to its vast stores of vibranium, the same metal that's in Cap's shield, and you're currently being invaded by aliens. And it's kind of funny if you look at it from the perspective of, like, sure, finding out about Wakanda, that's mind-blowing enough. But to learn about this place as they're being invaded by aliens, that's next level. But he really has no choice but to believe it, because there's a Predator corpse just laying over there to the side. So for a moment here, Falcon asks Shuri how to be out, only for her to tell him to shut his American mouth for a minute so she can concentrate on what she's doing. So what ends up happening here, when Shuri's done modifying the Predator's tech, after realizing how similar it was to their own, she uses it to open the barrier so they can get back into Wakanda. So in order for this to work, she tells Falcon to grab hold of her and be the big spoon so the two of them can pass them together and only be detected as one. And it kind of catches him off guard for a moment here. But I'm just like, whoa, Falcon, relax. She said spoon, not fork. But also with Shuri noticing the magnetic drive in Falcon's suit, she asks him if it's capable of GPS jamming and if the hard-like configuration of his wings can block infrared tracking, to where in both cases the answer is yes. So Shuri lets him know that these are things that they'll need to make their way in closer. And following this, when we go back to T'Challa and his group, as they step out of the air shaft, they're greeted with a thump. And T'Challa immediately recognizes that this is the headless body of Achilles. And this body was slid down here as a way of the nearby Predator showing them that he knows they're down here. And right after seeing this body, T'Challa hears a report of Achilles' voice, saying, "I will kill every last one of them, I swear." Which, like we saw, were his last words to the war dog. So next, T'Challa tries to warn Okoye that their cover's blown. But as soon as he does, the Dora Milaje standing right next to Okoye, her head just gets juiced by a plasma cannon. So Okoye, she just acts. She doesn't have time to warn or even try to figure out what exactly happened. So just going off an instinct, she flips out of the way and throws her spear in the direction of where the shot came from, nailing this Predator who she couldn't even see. Meanwhile, over by T'Challa, he's confronted by the Predator who killed Achilles, who again is playing the recording of Achilles' voice to taunt the Panther. And this fight ends up sending the two of them falling a greater distance, which allows the Panther to flip their bodies in the air, so that the Predator will hit the stone floor first and catch the impact from their fall. But now in this part of the mine, where T'Challa was helping Okoye and the others drop down into, he's now made it down here with Okoye. And now with him being in the same part of the mine with her, he sees her fighting off Predators left and right, with her vibranium spear just destroying their weapons. But these guys just keep coming out from the shadows one after the other, when one of them nearly catches Okoye from behind. but T'Challa's able to get him first before this predator is able to get to her. And as soon as he does, the rest of them hold their positions, which at first has Okoye thinking maybe they're finished. But T'Challa knows this isn't that. They're obeying the commands of another. And surely enough, when they turn around, they see the Yautja clan leader standing there with the other predators at his side. And when he removes his helmet, at first, Okoye, who's just doing her job, she tells T'Challa to get behind her. But T'Challa understands that this is a challenge more than anything else, and it's a fight that he must do himself without the help of Okoye or even the full protection of his Panther suit. Because in this moment, it's like an unspoken understanding where the Yautja leader is challenging Wakanda's champion. So T'Challa gets that, and he accepts. And it's a fair match, and I mean as close as fair can be in a situation like this. Because I mean, T'Challa, he has the power of the Black Panther, and this Yautja leader has a bionic leg. But in the here now, both of these guys are armed with vibranium spears, which evens the playing field to an extent. But even with this being the case, the Yautja leader finds himself outmatched by T'Challa, and it is definitely a skill issue. Because keep in mind, this Yautja leader who brought his clan here to take Wakanda's vibranium, not only is he smaller than your average predator, but most of his life, because of his disability, he's usually been more effective when he's had technology at his disposal. But nonetheless, with T'Challa besting him here, it hurts the Yautja leader's pride big time. So when T'Challa asks him if he yields, he responds by striking T'Challa, because in this moment, the disgrace that this Yautja leader had felt his entire life, it come crashing down on him. So he's not going to allow his father, or any king for that matter, to humiliate him even further. When he does this, him and the other predators, they just leave T'Challa and Okoye here. Because now with them both wounded, the Yautja leader, he orders the others to get back to the ship. Because at this point, they've already got the vibranium that they've come for. So going forward, the plan is to continue their mission, which was for the Yautja leader to get revenge against his father and brother, which now has the addition of coming back to Wakanda at a later date, stronger than ever before. But as the Yautja leader and his crew were leaving the Great Mound, they were spotted by Shuri and Falcon, who at this point don't know all the details of what was going on here. And at this time, with the Wakandan communications still being down, Shuri's not even sure if her brother's still alive. But just based on what they're seeing now with this alien ship leaving the Great Mound, to Shuri, this is a clear indication of a vibranium heist going on. So naturally, her and Falcon make it a priority to make sure that this ship doesn't leave. Because as far as they know, they are Wakanda, better yet, the world's last line of defense. So Falcon drops off Shuri on one side of the ship just before he flies to the other side in an attempt to create a breach, but he's not able to get through. Though on the other hand, Shuri, she's able to attach the Predator's gauntlet to the side of the ship and set the countdown for it to self-destruct, which of course leaves her in a situation to where when she lets go, she needs Falcon to swoop back around and catch her, which he does, though at first he's just telling Shuri how he's sorry he couldn't stop them, that they were too late. But as the ship is leaving, we're told here, the Yautja could not help himself. In the reckless heat of his escape, he blasted out a message warning his brother that he was coming home to win back his honor with God Metal and blood, with God Metal being what they call vibranium. But as soon as he sends out this message, the bomb detonates, and as we're told, nothing survived this blast but the vibranium and the greed it originally inspired. Because after this, when we head back to the Predator King and his favorite son, we're told here that they tracked the warning message that was sent their way. And with doing so, what they found claimed their full attention. Because now with this amount of God Metal that's just floating in space, we're told that there's enough to develop and advance their arsenal into one that would rival any of the cosmos, including Earth's, which sends off this story with a bit of a the end for now. But I can only imagine if we see these guys come back with their vibranium updates, Wakanda's gonna definitely have made some changes themselves too, in addition to their new perspective on getting outside help from other heroes across the world. And so now real quick, I want to give a special shout out to our patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support. And for anyone who's new here and wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below where you can go to patreon.com/dopesport. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll do it again on the next one. Alright, later. X-Men has not been seen in quite some time, has made its return in Marvel Comics. So we gotta take a view and talk about what exactly is going on here. So with that said, if you're enjoying these videos, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell up top to get all notifications. Alright, so going into this, we start out in the Northwest Territories of Canada, where we find Wolverine running with a pack of wolves, because that's just something he goes back to every now and then. But no, really, as a part of From the Ashes, this series is following the events of Ball of X and the end of the Cohen era, which was very rushed and underwhelming as far as endings go, but it's basically been a huge reset for the X-Men, where on one hand you got Cyclops starting things over in Alaska with a much smaller team, Forge leading X-Force on this mission to fix the world after cranking up his abilities. But with Wolverine, after everything that's happened between Orcus, Charles, and leaving Krakoa, it's all taken its toll on him. So he went to what he found to be a more simple life to get his head straight. But as usual, when Wolverine tries to go and live a simple life, someone from his past comes looking for him, where in this case, that person is Cyber. And I gotta say this here, because I can't remember the last time we even talked about this guy. But when I was a kid back in the 90s, I wanted Cyber to be so much more than just some dude that kind of popped up here and there. Because when I first saw him, it wasn't his first appearance in Marvel Comics Presents. But this was closer to the mid-90s, where because of Fatal Attraction, Wolverine just had his bone claws, and this dude Cyber was giving him hell. This dude was jacked, he has adamantium skin, he's crazy strong, and his nails on his claws would release these poisons that at one point caused Wolverine to foam at the mouth and hallucinate, and believe that Kitty Pryde, Nightcrawler, and Moira were working together with Magneto and Cyber to take Logan's adamantium, which, to be fair, at the time, after losing his adamantium, his healing factor was weaker for a while, which made him more susceptible to the poisons and hallucinogens, but later on Moira was able to flush them out of his system. And as you might imagine, it was hard for Kitty to see Logan like this, because they were really close. And at that time, Zoe Culloden, who has history with both Wolverine and Cyber, she was like, Kitty Pryde and Jubilation Lee, why does he keep forming these interdependent relationships with adolescent girls? And looking back now, I'm kind of like this, whoa, chill. And you know, at the time, she was just saying what everybody else was already thinking. And you know, fast forward to the whole thing with Squirrel Girl, that didn't help. That's why I got retconned so fast. But either way, we're talking about Cyber here, because he also has the ability to see thought waves from miles away, which is what makes him such a good tracker. But it's also allowed him to see Logan's fear, which I really thought was cool at the time, but he never quite managed to be the antagonist that I thought he would be. Because taking things back even further, Cyber was said to be Wolverine's worst nightmare come to life. And me personally, I never bought into it. And I mean, he's had his moments, which we'll talk about as we get through this, but yeah, no. But as Wolverine's out here in the Northwest Territories of Canada, we find that Cyber's hunting him down. And because Cyber has a long history with Logan, and he also ages slowly because of his healing factor, he thinks back to a time when he trained Logan while he was part of the Canadian Army in a special unit called the Devil's Brigade, which is a story that was told back in the 2006 Wolverine Origin series. But he remembers here how when he trained Logan multiple decades ago, how he had something wild in his blood, and how that part of Logan would refuse discipline. And he can tell that Logan has leaned further into that side of himself now. But while Cyber's here, he finds himself surrounded by local authorities. He saw it coming from a mile away, but these guys came out because they got a report of some dude running around naked with wolves, holding a bunch of knives. And Cyber entertains this long enough just to let these guys get close enough so he can tell them that they got the wrong killer. He more or less tells them, like, yeah, you found the killer, but the wrong killer. So he puts his gun down and he tears these dudes apart with his bare hands, because that's what Cyber prefers. And then also around this time, we got Nightcrawler, who's making his way here to really just check on his friend. And it's not so much that Kurt thinks that Logan's up against some crazy threat, but it's more so like Kurt's concerned, and he's here to save Logan from himself, because isolation and alienation is not a good combination. But while Kurt's out here, he comes across the mangled bodies of the local officials just seconds before he's attacked by Logan. And it takes a moment here because Kurt's got to do some duck and dodge and bam, out of the way before Logan sniffs that familiar scent of brimstone, and he eventually realizes it's him. And Logan admits to Kurt here that he didn't notice it first because his head's in a really messed up place, which then is Kurt like, these bodies, what happened? And that's when Logan tells him that the same thing happened to his pack, because they were all slaughtered as well. And because of the headspace that Logan's in right now, he doesn't think that he's any good to the X-Men, and he believes that he's the one to blame for the slaughter of his pack. And I mean, I'm not going to say that this is his fault, but if I were to move to the Northwest Territories of Canada, and I were to start chopping logs or something, and I hear something like, hey, here's the new guy Logan, he's going to be chopping logs with us, I'd just be like, nope, I'm out. I'm like, you're not about to have me killed as motivation. like what I look like building your character. But nonetheless, he knew that this wasn't something that was going to last. So Kurt tells him that he's sorry about what happened, and that he's sure that this pack was in the family to Logan. He still has some family out there who needs him. So he tries to give Logan his uniform, only for him to turn it down at first and say how that's the past and it's behind him. But then they hear screams off in the distance, and Logan can smell the blood, gun smoke, and adamantium coming from that way. And it's right there where he doesn't really argue anymore. He's just like, alright, El, let's go. So he suits up and they head to the nearby campsite to check it out. And by the way, Wolverine calling Kurt El, it's a term of endearment. And when they get to the campsite to see what's going on, they quickly find out that one of these guys is already dead. And at first they startle these guys before one of them's like, oh, they're superheroes, they come to help. And that's where they explain what happened. They're like, this dude walked up. They thought he was another camper until they saw his metal arms. And they're describing him like, well, the dude had guns. He just punched Dave to death like he was doing it for fun. And that's where another one of these guys is like, oh yeah, that Psycho also said he did this to draw him out. So which one of you is him? And that's when the other camper's like, wait a minute, that costume. I thought they were Avengers or something. They're mutants. So it's like, oh, here we go again. Because on one hand, the X-Men are trying to be seen in a better light these days. And I mean, what Charles did didn't help. And I'm sure more of those details will come into the light soon. But this quickly escalates to the point to where one of these guys is like, I hope that dude finds you and he kills you. So Kurt tries to de-escalate the situation, but Logan's just like, forget him. The guy who did this comes back, they deserve what they get. And of course, with Logan saying that, it's not helping. But then his hero Cyber comes back and he nearly catches Kurt with a headshot. But fortunately, it only grazed him. So Wolverine rushes to get Kurt out of the line of fire. He takes him to cover and he wraps his head to stop the bleeding so he can at least leave him here for a moment before he heads back out. And at this point, Wolverine's pieced everything together and he knows he's dealing with Cyber. When the two of them come face to face, for Cyber, for him, it's like he's been waiting a while for this. Because during the Krakoa era, Cyber was like, nah, he on an island full of heavy hitters, I'm not about to do one of that. But out here in a location that Cyber's way more familiar with, that's another story. But while they're out here fighting, all this adamantium is just a ping-ping and a ting-ting. We're told here that the screech and squeal of adamantium on adamantium echoes through the forest. Down the mountainside, the sound travels. The clamor is seeping deep into the caverns. Deeper. Still it travels into the seemingly bottomless depths of the earth where metal is born, and there the sound is heard. It is pure, and it is true. Once it was wielded by the worthy, its many names rang out in the hands of heroes. In the many centuries since that age, it has slumbered, but the dim distant echoes of man's false metal have grown louder every day of this unworthy age. And on this night, that screaming screech grows loud enough to pierce the very earth above it. It wakes. It's here we see this mysterious gold metal responding to the sound of adamantium flashing and making out of sight. Because the dude may have adamantium skin, but his insides are regular. So Wolverine's like, I'm just gonna keep punching until they turn to jelly. And then he's like, oh yeah, you remember that time I bit your eye out? Yeah, you know I messed up back then because I should have taken the boat. And I want to say at the time Wolverine bit out Cyber's left eye, if I remember correctly. So this time he stabbed Cyber in the right eye, which is wild. But Cyber ends up getting away because he tells Logan that he can come after him. But if he does, it's likely that his little blue friend's gonna bleed out. Wolverine starts to go after him. Cyber's like, oh, so you really are an animal, huh? And that's when Logan stops. He thinks about it. He goes back for Kurt, who fortunately is okay since one of the campers was looking after him. So Logan starts to thank her because she's just like, nah, I'm only here because I'm a doctor and I took an oath. And it's just like, alright, thanks. But fortunately, Kurt's okay. But following this, when we head back over to Cyber, who's made his way to a nearby cave to recover, it's here he's attacked by the gold metal. As we're told, it has purified him of his weak will, made him worthy of wielding, but its work has only begun. More of the false adamantium remains, and it will not rest until
Protect your own. HVT under fire. Repeat, HVT under fire. The lead is ours. We've taken the lead. Stay on task. Hostile HVT located. They've got our HVT. You're falling behind, Crimson. Eyes up. You're the HVT. Reclaim the advantage now. Hold still. Keep it that way. Enemy HVT is down. Enemy HVT on site. Take them out.
So the futile cycle of killing.
We've given up the lead. We took out their HVT. Friendly HVT on site. Keep them safe. Hostile HVT located. Armed enemy.
Incoming front. Target appears hostile.
HVT is taking fire. Keep the package safe.
Destination marked. Smoke.
Enemy HVT is down. Enemy HVT on site. Take them out. HVT under fire. Repeat, HVT under fire.
Grenades out.
HVT is taking fire. Keep the package safe. HVT under fire.
Meat bag deleted. Sending fire.
Our HVT has been eliminated. Protect our HVT. We took out their HVT. Hostile HVT located. Hostile LBBR drop detected. HVT under fire. Repeat, HVT under fire. Enemy HVT is down. Enemy UAV inbound. Enemy HVT on site. Take them out. Hold the line, Crimson. This is ours to lose. HVT is taking fire. Keep the package safe. They got our HVT. You are our HVT. Stay alert. All units prepare for exfil. This one's ours.
Here.
Johnson, the junior out of Minneapolis. Nebraska out there with an extra offensive lineman right there. Hardcore team deathmatch. Another day in paradise, Black Ops. In the game so far. Nice. We're pulling ahead. 7. Play. First hit that time. Oh, shit. The edge. Throws it away. It's just enough to slow down that play. Good play on the edge. That time, not rushing the passer, but handling the run game. Well, we see some good anyway.
Drop the enemy's run gun.
Eyes on enemy. Привет, old friend.
Sending frag. What? Yeah, true freshman Sanders. Remember, Zeke Berry is not playing tackle. They keep that short of a first down. They have to put it away for their own end zone. I always say, wrap up, use your arm. I mentioned earlier from Australia. Where he wants to go with this one.
Hostile sighting.
This is the goal. Still he's going to be playing that almost at the end line. Yeah, he said half the difference, but I think he corrected himself. It's outside the 10. It'll just be a 5-yard penalty. Morgan has moved up a little bit. There's the punt return. You've fallen behind. Yes, he will. Morgan backpedaled it. Great on this.
Get down, frag.
A little homesick. Long way.
Scanning area with scout pulse.
Here today, and showing us where with that left foot. 53. Michigan. Every that is for a green line. I'm hell. It's delivered. This thing just got to go. Oh, quick.
If I could just perfect. Because doing it yourself doesn't have to be all by yourself.
Crimson sent a sleeper. Trust no one. Expertly seasoned. Expertly crafted just for you. Nobody does grenades not out like
TACOM, get a UAV in the air. Commence care package delivery.
Sending frag.
Throwing shotgun.
The Home Depot Big Fan on CBS is sponsored by Modelo. And by
Get a UAV on grid.
last drive. Michigan started out with a pass plan. It's one thing saying, we don't want to quarterback early in his career, you would lose something, but you still got to use him a little bit more. The offensive preference, got wide receiver. Games without a receiver. They didn't have a pass play last year. They do have one this year. Florida. Yep. Yeah. How do you get your quarterback? 7.
Shit. Friendly down.
Waves with another 30-yard game, 4th straight, 75-yarder. Down to a second. We'll see if they come out of that. Make the signals anywhere.
Bagged and bagged.
Back to the previous plays.
Moving with Archangel.
Got the spot. Got the spot they needed.
Target appears hostile.
Fuck me, that's one of ours. You gonna let a bunch of company assholes beat you? Fight back, damn it!
Just got it right there. Good job.
Revenge in the middle.
Guess I chose the wrong people for the job. My bad.
What the hell was that? Threat neutralized. You're going down. That's 5.